Only in South Africa, only. I don't know. I don't have an idea. But so the story goes. Yeah, I hear this talk of no visas and not having any form of authorization in order to travel. Yeah, it is advantageous, but it poses its disadvantages, not only in Africa, but worldwide. And in my view, I don't know why people, I don't know why people see the no visa, no authorization to move around thing as a flex. I don't know why they see it as that because there must be safety, there must be measures that must be taken. Measures must be taken. Measures must be taken. Yeah, it's really not an excuse at all to want to justify, being of the same ethnicity and then whatever. I don't think that there's an excuse. Yeah. If the case is in Europe, they move freely. Uh, chances of espionage are high. If the case is, I don't know, I hear it by word of mouth, from no visa authorization, none of that other stuff. Only just free movement. That's what I hear. And the free movement thing, I don't really condone it. I think that there are more drawbacks than there are benefits to, being from a particular country and being able to move freely. There are drawbacks. I mean, continent. Being from a particular continent and being able to move freely doesn't entirely bring about benefits. Brandy Hines, what's up, Brandy? What's going on? So hi, how you doing? Um, I don't really think that it's beneficial to for a particular continent. It could be any continent in the world, not even Africa, bro. I don't think that it's wise to have in movement entirely free. You know, it's my view because I mean, in the world, bro, there's a lot of uncertainty. Do you understand that? You can't just easily trust in the world that we currently live in, which is why measures are important because chances of espionage are high. Chances of espionage are high. So, indeed, there must be authorization of people who move maybe from a particular country to another. I don't believe that people should be granted access because they are from a residential uh yeah, what's up? How you doing? How you doing, Arian? Um Zed's Pro, something like that. Shout out to you guys for getting on the live though. Real talk. Um I don't think that it's okay, it is beneficial, right? To have people that are from a a particular continent, right? move freely. It is beneficial, yeah, but bro, in the world that we live in, there are always constant power struggles and measures of authorization. Highly recommended. Highly recommended because you know why. There are people out here. I don't know them. They know themselves. Their intentions aren't really good. Yeah. I'm from South Africa, and in South Africa, there's currently a crisis of uh, people who are moving from one country to another illegally. But then I just want to talk about it and just generalize it and take it out of the restrictions of or the take it out of the Loganjana, the auspices of Africa, Yeah. When I turn on my phone, it's Africa that. Yeah. No, you see, when it comes to people from other countries visiting other countries, there must be indeed a form of authorization that clocks in, Baba. Whether it's in the Europas, whether it's in the Americas, wherever. People mustn't have benefits that are clearly gonna sabotage the reputation of a country in the long run. Because guess what? In our we have our problems, our geopolitical, our societal problems on a worldwide scape. Our problems are not the same. Our worries are not on the same magnitude. So indeed, you can't just move from another country to another without authorization. You know, yeah, you just can't. You understand what I'm saying? You just can't. You just can't. You cannot afford to move or to travel. Um, Belting supplies. What's up? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. So, for real, cause I when I turn on my phone, it's always Africa this, Africa that, Africa feeling sorry for itself, and when it's unnecessary, I'm from Africa, yet I'm aware that if I were to be in a position of power or a position of leadership, yeah, hello to you too, my brother. You know, it sort of pissed me off because it's as if we are trying to victimize ourselves, as Africans, when indeed there are problems in Africa, when indeed there are Africans who are committing atrocities. It's like we don't want to iron that out for some reason. That in Africa, there are Africans who commit atrocities. It's as if forget about that and be like, yeah, they wanna, they wanna dissect our minerals. They wanna use us. Da, 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 da. When we forget that we ourselves in Africa, we have problems that are bigger than Netanyahu or even the colonial ways of the French. Among our ethnic groups, we it's as if we don't iron that one out. It's as if we like we want to victimize the continent even more. When the continent, clearly some of the people in the continent aren't victims, Baba. I maintain, Baba. You see, I don't care what anyone has to say. And I'm not speaking, basing it on Africa only. You see, if someone isn't from your country, yes, I'm South African. If someone isn't from your country, they are indeed supposed to go through some form of authorization. You understand that they are indeed supposed to go through some sort of authorization process, Baba. We must identify, Baba. That has the identification has its own function, Chief. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, Baba, that we want it's as if we throw certain issues under the rug. Yeah, but some other people they wanna talk about being African activists, Pan-Africanists, but it's as if they wanna sweep certain issues under the rug. Why, Baba? Why is it that in most cases it's as if some of our African leaders they are looking out for their own hindsight? I wonder because among our ethnic groups as African brothers and sisters, among our ethnic groups, they are the most violent, most spiteful, most hateful people. Why aren't such things aired out? Why are Africans not coming out talking about this and being honest? I don't understand. Maybe due to ultimatums, due to threats. I don't know. But it puzzles me. It's as if these some of these African Pan-Africanists. It's as if they're just passive of some things. Certain happenings, occurrences within the continent, and they want to be like, they want to exploit us. They want to use our water. They wanna... Hey, Baba, there are people within our ethnic groups that are so spiteful, so hateful, so conniving, so scheming. What? You know what I suggest? This is what I suggest. Instead of, I'm not saying that we're not supposed to take the word of our leaders, right? We are supposed to take word of we are supposed to heed word, if our leaders are addressing us of something, right? But at the same time, we must not allow our own reasoning to sort of depart from all common sense. You understand? I will repeat. We must listen. We have to listen to our African leaders as Africans. But at the same time, we must not be in the position of letting all common sense and logic depart, Baba. You understand? We must all have a sense of thinking independently. We mustn't be sardines here, swimming because we see the others swimming the other way. Sometimes you must heed the call of something, yet at the same time, you have to bring yourself to be grounded in all common sense and logic, my friend. You understand? Yeah. Like, for example, what I'm maintaining. If you are from a certain country, You must indeed undergo a certain authorization, Baba. You must. You have to. You have to. You have to, Baba. You have to. We must be able to identify. It may seem as if it's invasion of privacy, whatsoever. Baba, in the world, you will never detect. You see humanity. You see the brain of a human being. You will never be able to really 100% fully determine it. But no. I'm tired of people lying to me, Baba. I'm tired of people lying to me. I'm just, some of the things that I see on the TV, I don't even think it's really real anymore. I don't even think that some of the things that I see on the TV are really real anymore. Because it's like they tryna, ayo, I two flames, E two flames, bro, I two flames, nigga. How am I pronouncing your name? E two flames, South Africa, bro. We in the building, we in the Billy. No, when I eat, I'm talking about the fact that I'm not only basing it on Africa. I'm not only basing it on Africa, Ngano, you understand? I'm trying to generalize it. You know what I'm saying? If to the people that are tuning in here who are not as shy, who are not, who are shy. You know what I'm saying? To also the people who may be tuning in here who are shy. That is to say, shy to comment, shy to like, shy to subscribe. I'm aligning. No, ndithetha ngalento you I don't speak Xhosa, bruv. I speak Swati. I'm talking about the fact that if you're from a particular country, yeah, and you are traveling to another country, you must indeed undergo authorization, Baba, and identification. Or maybe it's identification and authorization. You must undergo that. I'm trying to highlight that. Because there are things that I believe that in the media they don't talk about, bro. They don't talk about them things. You understand? And I've been talking about the fact that every time I go on my feed, it's as if I come across, Africa, Africa this, Africa that. It's as if we are trying to get someone to cry for us or to feel compassion for us. It's not going to work, Baba. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because within our ethnicities as Africans, we have the most heartless, cruel people. Within our ethnicities as Africans, we have the most cruel people with their coup d'etats, Baba. Yeah, not afraid to cause harm to add to their own because they believe in some false idea, you know? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How would country that particular not only South Africa or Africa, Mngani young toy, but everywhere. Even I was mentioning the fact that with even in Europe, espionage, chances of espionage are very high. Chances of espionage in Europe. If you know what espionage is, if you know what espionage is, you see, in Europe, they always say there's the I hear it by word of mouth. Maybe I'm not maybe getting the right correct information, but there's often a saying that in Europe, because Europeans are Europeans, they move freely. Yeah, they can travel to this country without baba espionage, baba. Baba. Espionage, Baba. If you know about infiltration, Baba. If you know about undercover stuff, Baba. Ask the US, they know. If you want to know about undercover stuff, snitching type of operations, the US knows. So me, I always hear, yeah, in Europe, yeah, there's free movement. Yeah, and then I think to myself, I'm like, free movement. Ah, la la, espionage. Because no matter how advanced their systems may be, ne, Baba, you'll never determine the mind of a human being fully, Baba. Ever. Ever. And if Baba. Baba, planet Earth, Baba. This is planet Earth, Baba. This is not anyone. This is not anyone's grandparents' planet, Baba. This is planet Earth that we're in, Baba. Yo. Yeah. No, the case in South Africa, it's volatile. It's very volatile. It's very volatile. And I wanna just ask something. Ne? I don't know, maybe if I'm gonna be answered. But is it wise to have someone who is not of nativity to a particular country buried in a particular country that is not of nativity to him? Is it wise? Is it wise? Because we're Africans, right? And in accordance to ancestral philosophy, is it wise to have someone who is not of a particular country go and be buried in a country that is not of his or her nativity? Is that sensible? Make that make sense? Is it sensible? Yeah, Baba. We're Africans, Baba. Ancestrally, in accordance to ancestral philosophy, Baba, you are damning your entire generation, Baba. You are damning your entire tribe, even. Forget damning your generation. You are damning your tribe, Baba. Serious. Serious. If you are a wife, you are damning the tribe of the husbands. And you are damning also your tribe as well, Baba. If you decide on that, ah, yeah, you understand? Because I mean, mm, oh yeah. I feel you, my brother. Yeah, for sure. Not in the Gaudi. Yeah, I feel you. Not in the Gaudi. I feel you, man. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm just I'm trying to mash up, certain topics or certain headlines, and I'm trying to sort of shed a different idea to what is, I'm trying to shed a different light. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to what is shared in mainstream media. Mm, that's what I'm doing, or at least trying to do. So yeah, man, we're African, bro. We're African. So just imagine you're from Uganda and you're buried in Finland, for example. Crazy, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Not only just to say somewhere. Mm, All right, yeah, for sure. So just imagine, maybe you're from Zambia and then you get buried in Egypt. What are you doing in Egypt, Baba? Why are you your ancestry? What business did your ancestry even have in Egypt like that? That now they must be buried. You know what I'm saying? Some things are just no nonsense. Yeah, some things are just insanity. You are from Zimbabwe, yet you are somehow buried in Kenya. Some things are just disgraceful, bro. Some things are just disgraceful, dog. Mm, mm. And I keep on hearing it on the news. I'm talking about, who's this guy? Where is he from? I forget where he's from, but I'm from South Africa, and there's currently plans to, I think, bury Lungwe. I think Lungwe, something like that. I forget where he's from. So this Lungwe guy who passed on, I forget when he passed on. So there's saying in the news that he is to be buried in South Africa. He is to be a state funeral is to be planned for Lungwe. Dude, Lungwe is not even from South Africa, bro. He didn't have anything culturally similar to South Africans. His ethnicity and his values didn't even resemble that of South Africans. So how is it logical for I forget where he's from. I can't recall where he's from, but that's just crazy, man. Yo, Baba. Chief. Yeah. Yeah. Ngala Burkina Faso publicity stunts, because that's how I view it. That's how I view it. Indeed, if you did get a letter from Netanyahu, that letter is as confidential as it came. So you deciding to read it in public, and because here's what I believe. Eh, the loudest talk makes the loudest bark, or whatever the saying is. So I don't know. What I'm basically trying to say is that we sometimes talk, and without actually changing anything for real. I'm just saying, that sometimes that's how I really feel, when I be viewing certain things, or when I hear of certain things. Like in South Africa, you check. President Cyril Ramaphosa, I don't know, maybe him or that council of now, I don't know, but ANC. I'm a perfect example. I am perfect example of the ANC's failures, bro. The house that I live in, I need not say much. Uh, you know, it's crazy. No wonder why Trump would actually place sanctions on SA. Because the things that be happening in SA, hey, they too much, bro. People who are not of nativity buying IDs, people who are not of nativity bribing their way through borders, a lot of things, interesting things in SA. A lot of interesting activity in SA. Yo. Mm, mm. And you check, SA, South Africa, it has enough budget to actually beef up security, to beef up even technology. But need I say more? Hey, baguette. Ngayon nkosi yami. Hey, we, madoda. Yeah. Kilala uvule iliso leli one. You like sleeping with your eye open. Yeah. Because even now, these other countries, with wars that they are likely to start, they are gonna actually be impacting us where we are now in South Africa. Considering that we have contracts with these people, we have deals with these people, we have certain agreements binding us with these people. So, hey, yeah, hey, the trajectory at which events are heading in the current world, it's very, very interesting. China wanting to invade Taiwan. Hey, it's very interesting, bro. I was reading something up on China and Taiwan, and it turns out that Taiwan is Chinese land. Some things I'll never understand in Forward. I was reading up something on China and Taiwan, and it turns out that Taiwan is Chinese land. On what terms? On what terms? On what terms, bro? Taiwan is like an island. It's like an island, Baba. It's like some miles away from China, even. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah. And even if it is Chinese land, you know, I mean, when I was in seventh grade, I was introduced to history class, and that's exactly what history is supposed to be. Instead of like trying to fight people up, there should be a means to join forces and collaborate. That's what I honestly believe. Instead of gearing up for missile strikes and all these terrorizing things. Things that are gonna impact people's lives, things that are gonna impact us in South Africa, since we do dealings with the Chinese, you know, and we do business with the Taiwanese, I guess, if I can call them that. I don't know. So it's really gonna affect us. Not only just South Africa, I think, but I think also other parts of the world are gonna be really affected by this war that would take place between China and Taiwan. So, yeah, it's very interesting. The things that are happening in the world are very, very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. And um, as per for my country, South Africa, I just hope that technologies are improved. You know what I mean? Technologies for tracking, technologies for navigating, technologies for identification. I hope that you know the conditions of hospitals improve in South Africa, my country, where I am. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really tough, man. When you gotta literally scramble, and to know that officials in the hospital are willing to prioritize um, people of foreign descent, it's even more traumatizing, you know. It's even more traumatizing. And by the way, I really love, you know, um, certain ethnicities in Africa, uh, the Nigerian, you know, they are an interesting people with an interesting culture, with an interesting background, you know, with a very interesting history of their wars, the wars they fought, and their triumphant, glories that they had. It's yeah. I also like Ghana. I love Ghanaian people. Very strong, very willful people. Uh, Having, of course, their own geopolitical, problems. You know, uh, I love Swaziland. I've never been to Swaziland. I wish to go to Swaziland. That's for sure. Uh, yeah, man. I just love my country, Africa, and free movement. I'm not. I don't advocate for free movement. Why? Because there are a lot of things that are happening in the world, and it the things that happen in the world have nothing to do with race or color. You understand that? Because I really feel like like I really feel like some African leaders are playing a certain trump card by victimizing Africa. Yeah, in Africa, this and that and that and that. I feel like it's a certain trump card, but hey, I'm just I'm probably delusional, but I mean, a human being you will never fully get to determine a human being. They may appear standing for you, appearing to be moral and whatever, and endearing in their stance. They may appear to be all that, but hey, Baba, you will never fully determine a human being. So because it's not easy to determine a human being, instead of fully putting our whole trust in our political leaders, not only in Africa but worldwide, right? Instead of fully putting our trust in our political leaders, we should think, not allow and common sense and all logic to depart from us, Baba. We should be in a position to stay grounded where we are. Because, hey, bro, the world that we live in, it has too many uncertainties, Baba. The current state of the world that we're in, it has way too many uncertainties. And that's why, if our political leaders come to us, some of the things that they say, instead of entirely overly believing, we should just take certain things with a grain of salt and work towards finding our ways, and work towards pioneering our ways. I mean, let me repeat, I end this live. Instead of trusting and believing our political leaders, we should be obsessed with working towards innovating our own ways and, founding our own stability. Yup, that's about it. That's about it. So let me just holler at the people who got on this live real quick, who were active on the chat and were not shy to actually write something and actually participate. Brandon Hines, thank you. Ankit, speaking a right, Ankit, I don't know what that means by this chat. Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Yeah, man. Tune into my shorts. Tune into my shorts. Go on over to my shorts. Don't be shy. Go on over to my shorts. Rock with the content that's there. I promise you, you're gonna come across something very interesting. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your auntie, to tell your mother, to tell your uncles if need be. Alright, I'm out. I'm gonna see you on the next one. You know what it does though. We on.